What's going on, people? What's going on? What's going on? We back.
Hey,
how
everybody.
y'all doing? Those of you that are looking at the replay, this is another good discussion. Who can I turn to?
Yeah, man.
Who can I turn to? As a man, that's an excellent question. Who can I turn to? What do men want to talk about but are afraid to? So we going there.
Yeah, man, we've been having some doozies, man. And, in a good way. I think we've been shining light on some subjects.
Yeah, you've been pulling on me, man.
A lot of people don't want to talk about, man, but it's necessary.
Yeah.
And I think the responses that we've been receiving kind of validate the need for this specific talk.
Most definitely. We got a lot of people tuning in. What's up, Sherrod? What's up, Katrina? What's up, Montana? How you doing? Yeah. And we really want people to join in on this. And hopefully there's no weird glare. I'm seeing a weird glare in my phone, so hopefully that won't make much of a difference. What's up, Mr. Warren?
Yeah.
What's up, AJ? But we had an excellent topic last week. Every topic was good, but we had an excellent topic last week. So can you kind of give like a brief overview about what we spoke about last week?
So, well, hello, everybody, and I want to acknowledge everybody who's joining us also on Instagram. But last week we talked about what makes a strong man. We talked about the characteristics of a strong man. I think oftentimes we assume a burden that we're not supposed to carry because we have a wrong image of masculinity. And so last week, I hope that we did a pretty thorough job of maybe dissecting, the false narratives about masculinity. And then we also just identified a number of the attributes that it means to be a good man. So
yeah, and we hit on some very good points. And there's a lot of things that our understanding or our understanding of masculinity, that false understanding of masculinity, is really affecting our walk. It's affecting our talk. It's affecting how we treat one another and so forth. It's affecting, the values that we have as well.
Yeah.
But who can I turn to?
Oh, man, it almost sounds like the Escape song.
Yeah.
Who can I run to?
Man, you got all these excellent topics, man. I always gotta, really gotta dig deep inside of me and really, write this stuff down and so forth. But this is excellent. Yeah. But those of you that are just joining in, please, we need you all to do one thing. We just need you all to find one person that you can think of that needs to be a part of this discussion and needs to hear this. Go ahead and invite them. Please share. Please give us some feedback. If you have any questions, please put in the comment box and we'll get into it. This is a discussion. This is a conversation, and we're just trying to promote more people to have this conversation as well, especially our men to have this conversation. What's up, Cam? And we really want them to join in. So please just share the broadcast. What's up, Michael? And we're going to get right into it. So who can I turn to? And there are a lot of things that men are afraid to have discussions about or conversations about due to various things.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and get right into it. Once again, my name is Dominique. I'm the founder of Ace Ambition, teaching young people how to move with a purpose, in their purpose, but how to monetize their ideas, how to, the basis of entrepreneurship, marketing, business planning, and so forth. I'm the founder of Ace Ambition. That's what we do. I provide these workshops that focus on this. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, Dexter, Peggins, CEO of Kingdom Solutions Consulting, personal coach. I work with people to help them overcome life's what-ifs and win in difficult situations. So
excellent. So you can go ahead and find him on Instagram and Facebook, Dexter Peggins, and find me at Dominique Bond, and we're going to get right into it.
So we already said a good question. But
But, see, Katrina already
she's on it. But listen, our topic on today is, who can I turn to? And we're talking about the issues that men, we deal with. There are some things that we deal with that we don't know how to open up about it. These are the things we want to talk about, but truth be told, we're afraid to talk about it.
Yeah.
And so, when I was thinking about this topic, one of the first things that came to my mind is that we as men, we want to talk about our insecurities. Insecurities as it relates to different roles and responsibilities that we have. But the truth of the matter is that we don't know how to, you know, as a husband. That's a role that I have, you know. I want to know that, you know, I'm nurturing my wife. But the truth of the matter is, you know, I deal with fears and concerns that I might not be loving her the way that she wants to be loved.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how to have that conversation because, you know, there's a lot of relationships that don't last long. And so, you know, who do I talk to on that subject matter, you know? And, you know, I don't want to be in a situation where, you know, maybe there's a communication breakdown where my wife is assuming that I know this, but the fact of the matter is, you know, we've been together all this time, and I'm like, hey, I'm really struggling in this area. I only know what to do with, you know, I only know to do what I know. You know, also, you know, as a father, you know, I want to tell people that, you know, there are times that I'm concerned that I'm pushing my sons too hard, you know, that I'm losing sight of the fact that they're boys.
Yeah.
But I've been so accustomed to talking to adults for such a long time that I don't know how to relate to them. So that's a difficulty that I know that a lot of men we deal with, you know, and in all matters of transparency, that's a wrestle that I have sometimes. I have to remind myself that, hey, man, you know, your sons are 8 and 6. You know, you can't talk to them like they're grown men, and don't lose sight of the fact that they have a childhood to have. And then also, you know, I want to know that I'm doing things right. You know, I want to know that I'm not letting people down. I understand the responsibilities that come with just being who I am, but the reality is that who can I tell that I'm afraid that I'm going to let you down? And so, you know, that's one of the things that, you know, I've been hearing, that I've dealt with, and that's something that men want to talk about. They just don't really know how to.
Yeah, and I think one of the things with insecurity, I think it's very, very important to open up to men about that, because it makes people know that you're normal. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, and when I have these conversations with some guys, they're almost, no, they're not almost, they're surprised to hear that, you know what, this is what I'm going through, or this is something I just don't understand. This is what I need some assistance with. And it's crazy how they respond to that, because if it ain't something that's positive, oh, everything is going good, I'm great, I'm happy. It's like, oh, you know, you, Dominique, you know, but it's like I'm human. You get what I'm saying? And it's something that I'm struggling with. It's something that I'm gonna need some assistance with. There's something that I'm just not doing something well at. And I just think men are just afraid to express anything that makes them feel soft, weak, or vulnerable. Anything that makes us feel weak, soft, or vulnerable, that's something that we just hesitate with really expressing. And I know one guy that I know, he didn't want his friends to feel like he was a burden. You get what I'm saying? He didn't want to seem like he was an inconvenience. He didn't want to seem like he was something that was just always somebody who was just always complaining. And I was just thinking to myself, I'm all like, man, you know, you consider me a friend, correct? And you know, with our definition of friend, it's very close to, you know, family. We're family, you know what I'm saying? So you're telling me that you think, since we're family, it's an inconvenience for you to express yourself. You know, it's that you're gonna be a burden. Like, everything is just all good. Everything ain't always good. You know what I'm saying? So I had to really express that to him. I had to really take time out to express that to him, not just say, you know what, bro, you can express anything to me. I had to really dive deep for him to have that full understanding. Like, bro, that's not the right attitude to have. I think it's so important for us to really take time out to express, you know, the people that we love, the people that we spend time with, the people that we really care about. Because even though we may think that, you know what, they should know this, they may not know that. And for you to just take time out to really express that to them, I think that really means a lot.
And something you just said really ties into a question. I'm not going to use your government right now, sis, but my friend over here on Instagram, Strong Towers Ministry, but she asked, where does the false identity come from? You know, and we've been talking about that over the last couple of weeks, but I often think that a lot of it is a societal thing, you know, that we promote only these really tough images, and then, as you said, you know, we don't want to appear soft, so at an early age we're indoctrinated to discount those feelings as, you know, things that men don't do. And so once again, you're a young boy being told that, well, hey, you're a man, toughen up, you know, and we don't do those type of things. And so we grow up with that mindset, you know. I think another thing as it relates to, you know, some of the things that we as men are afraid to talk about. We're afraid to talk about failure. You know, especially as it relates to maybe your own hopes and dreams, what it may mean to not realize those things, you know. You know, you spend all of this time, you know, trying to compel people to believe in your hopes and dreams, and the truth of the matter is that by the time, you know, people start to believe in you, you know, you have your own doubts that, you know, it's going to work. And what if it doesn't work? You know, people have been supporting you for the past, you know, the other 100 of things that you were doing prior to this thing, and now you're feeling some accountability that, hey, you know what, I'm afraid that this is not going to come to pass. And so it's a very tough conversation to not only admit that you failed, but to own the fact that you failed. You know, it's easy to point fingers, but I tell you, it's a hard thing to just take accountability for losing and failing in life. You know, and so that's something that we don't want to talk about, because we don't want to own it, and sometimes we've just not really taught how to own failing. You know, I can't recall many examples growing up of men who failed and then were restored on the back end of that failure. I've seen people fail and then everybody ostracized them. And so therefore, I'm not going to let you know that I'm failing. You know, I'm going to look to other people and say, hey, this is the reason why this didn't succeed, or I didn't succeed.
Most definitely. Natasha said, fears, failure, disappointing others you love, appearing weak. Most definitely. And somebody else is putting out, sometimes I want to also talk about feeling alone in the crowd. These are deep things. You know what? LeBron, you know, he just won Game 7.
And barely though.
Barely. Barely.
Let's put it out there.
And during the interview after the game, he expressed something. He said, man, look, I'm tired. I ain't even thinking about the Raptors right now. You know, I'm just trying to get home and, you know, rest, and I'll think about the Raptors tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But he expressed that he was tired. And it was interesting because of how people responded to that, almost as if, you know, he's weak. You know, and people were saying that he was soft. And it was almost, you know, taboo for him to, you know, express that. I mean, he was being transparent and honest with the people, you know, as a professional athlete. I mean, it makes sense for him to be tired after scoring 45 points, you know, almost having a triple-double, you know, but I guess he ain't human, you know what I'm saying? But that's another example. We put, you know, men on this pedestal that you can't get tired. You know, you're not human, you're a robot, and that's the way you're supposed to operate. And it was just so weird to me that, you know, I think that was a lot of strength on his part to actually be able to be man enough to say, you know what, I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired. And one of the things that I've done differently over the past several months is when I greet people, especially with him last week. You know, when he said, you know, how you doing, Dom? I'm like, man, I'm tired, man. You know, I'm good, but I'm tired. And sometimes we just so quick just to say, you know what, I'm good. Everything's good. You know, I think it's a good habit to, you know, to have that positive talk, you know, but to just be so quick just to say, you know, everything's all good. You know, I got mixed views about that. You know what I'm saying? And I should be able to express to you, not saying I need some advice or I just need some help, but I should be able to feel comfortable to express to you that, you know what, I'm tired. You know, it's the last week of semester in grad school. You know, I got all these assignments. I got this going on, that going on. I'm a little tired right now. And I think that's very, very important to have that comfort level to express to each other those type of things. I think another thing that a lot of guys, you know, are afraid to just seek is help or mentorship, you know, and it's just another way of thinking that, you know, if I'm asking for help, that just means that, you know, I'm lowering who I am. I'm lowering my value because I need to seek help now. So since I need to seek help now, you know, maybe I'm falling short of who I am. But really, who I turn to, you can start on an Oxford dictionary and get your true identity back. Oh man, I can't read all that, bro. Peace and freedom of speech, children, and wars among the world, but all of your indoctrination of your oppressor's education system has lost you from the reality of you. Yeah, and kind of like what Des was saying earlier, we kind of took certain traits and just said these are just traits or characteristics of women. That's part of answering what this sister asked, you know. And since we said these are traits and characteristics of women, then we just said this is just taboo for men to have any association with. And I think that's, you know, we're just not understanding how we work as humans. You know, it's natural to express ourselves. It's natural to be happy and be sad and be mad and to cry and so forth. And if you don't operate like that, there are some, you know, health, what's the word?
There's definitely health concerns.
Yeah, health concerns
issues
that's gonna associate with that if you're just not expressing yourself and always holding that stuff in. Yeah. But I think it's very, very important for men to not hesitate to ask for help. A lot of my brothers, I just use them as an example. They see everything that I'm doing and they hesitate to ask for help because they think, you know, I'm just too busy all the time. Yeah. Or I may have, quote unquote, better things to do. I check them on this because what you see me do is not everything in my life. That's not everything. So even with me going live and me having a youth workshop, I love that. That's a passion of mine. But that's not everything in my life. So for you to have, or for them to have that understanding when it comes down to our friendship, that I'm too busy, it also shows that I'm also unbalanced. You get what I'm saying? And I always tell people that you want to pursue your goals and so forth, but you still got to have that balance. So my family is up there as a priority. My business is up there. My career is up there. My friendship is up there. And those are all the things that's a priority in my life. But to cancel that out, I think that just shows a lot of our true friendship. If I'm not able to take a little time and just say, hey man, let's go sit down somewhere, you know what I'm saying? The thing is, we have to be able to have that comfort to be able to say, you know what, Dex, I'm gonna need some help in this area because I can't do this by myself.
Yeah, and I think another thing that we as men we're often afraid to talk about is we're afraid to talk about rejection. You know, and how we feel when we're rejected. You know, everybody wants to be affirmed. Everybody wants to know that, you know, feel like they're liked and accepted. But the truth of the matter is that, hey, listen, not everybody's going to dig you, you know, and not everybody's going to be into what you're into. And I think if we're not taught how to deal with the rejection, we end up trying to overcompensate in other areas because we don't want to feel the pain of that rejection again. And so oftentimes we put up the mask, even men put up masks and barriers because we didn't like how we felt when we were rejected. You know, I know a lot of people who shy away from relationships on account of, you know, when they were younger, they were rejected, and now they're afraid to discover, hey, this person might be the person for me, or this might be a good business relationship, a good friendship, but because I was hurt before, I'm not going to cross that line and discover if this is something worth pursuing. And so men, like I said, we often overcompensate by putting up a tough exterior. We often use intimidation as a direct response to rejection. But in order to be whole and to be balanced, like you're talking about, we have to start tracing the root of those issues. And rejection is a very strong issue that a lot of men deal with.
Yeah, and it's something, that's another thing that we oftentimes have an issue dealing with. Even when it come down, I mean, you hear it. I see a lot on my timeline. You know, guys being rejected by women, and all of a sudden they'll go off on her and so forth. And it's really unfortunate to see, you know, guys handle that rejection like that. You get what I'm saying? To anger or disappointment in that nature. But rejection is part of life, and I think, you know, especially with us working with young men, I think it's very important for them to understand that, you know, when you are rejected, it's not the end of the world. When you are rejected, you know, sometimes it's one of the best things that happened to you. You know, I can think back a lot of times I was rejected. I'm like, thank God that happened. Thank God that happened. But the key thing is that key word, you know, perseverance when it comes down to rejection, and you know, facing that challenge no matter the difficulty, and understanding that, you know what, because it didn't go the way I intended it to go, it's time for me to bounce back. You know what I'm saying? It's not the end of the world. It just doesn't end with that. And I think if we can really understand that, then we will continue to push forward like we should. I think another thing that's very, very important, and Tom, I think I misunderstood your comment, man, so I apologize for that. But and if you understood what he was referring to, just let me know.
It's kind of hard to see.
But I think it's very hard for men to express that they're lost in life, and not knowing what their purpose is. I think it really takes a lot of courage for you to express that type of
vulnerability.
Vulnerability in your life. That, you know what, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what direction to go in. I don't know what's really best for me. You know, I just don't know. And it's almost as if, you know, from the person who is expressing themselves, it's almost as if they're complaining to themselves. They're complaining, but they're not complaining. It's really just them expressing themselves and really seeking some type of help, some type of advice, or some type of mindset shift, like we like to say, and understanding, okay, this is what's going on. Okay, what is my next step? I think it's very important, you know, for the other person to understand that, you know what, when someone is expressing that to me, you know, as problem solvers, sometimes we don't need to have a solution to it. And I think that's very, very important when we're dealing with men and women. We don't always need to have a solution for something. We don't always have to give somebody advice. Sometimes they just need somebody just to simply express to, or they just need somebody to actually just open up to and just say, hey, this is what's going on. I'm just expressing myself. We just talking and so forth. And I think if we can really understand that we don't always have to have a solution for something, I really think that can really help with a lot of our conversations and how we deal with those conversations, and knowing that, you know what, sometimes, you know, a brother just needs somebody just to listen. Just to simply just listen, man.
And I think that's the importance of the mentoring piece. Now, I know you presented it from the vantage point of we as men we have difficulty expressing that we need a mentor, but the truth of the matter is that when it relates to who can you turn to, I think a mentor is probably one of the best people to have in your corner.
Yeah.
I'm a strong proponent of connecting with people who excel in areas that you lack in.
Yeah.
A lot of times we take on this posture where we'll just figure it out, we'll tough it out. But truth is that someone else has probably already gone through the hard work. They've done the labor, and if they're in your life, then why don't you take advantage of that relationship? I have very strong men who are older than me who have been examples in a multitude of different areas in my life. I thank God for my father. He gave me the foundation for, character and stuff like that. But there were other men who poured into me in areas of finance and in relationships and in how to walk strongly from a spiritual dynamic. And so, but it took me recognizing that I didn't have it in myself. Truth is that if I had it in myself, I wouldn't need help in that area. But I was struggling. And so I accepted the fact that I was weak in those areas. And I said, you know what? I need to link up with people who are strong in those areas because I don't want to limit myself to the excuse of, well, this is just how things have to be. Like, no, I own the fact that I can be intentional about improving myself. And, relationships were a vital role in self-improvement.
Yeah, and I think another thing when it comes down to your friends, I think it's so, for some of us, it's so tough to express ourselves like we've been saying, but I think it really shows where your friendship stands as well. And I think for some people, they just got to dare themselves, just to try to have that conversation with some of their friends and people that they consider to be very close to. And just see how they respond to it, see how they react to it. Are they able to, or are they willing to take time out to have that late phone call with you? You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, it may just be something on your mind in that time of night. Or are they willing to, sit down with you and have, that discussion or that conversation about you being depressed, about you being stressed out? Are they willing to have that phone call with you, or do they feel like, what, man, this guy is just gonna complain to me again, or whatever the case may be? I think there's a difference if you're doing it all day, every day. You're trying to. I think there's a balance. I think that's fair to say. But if that person's just unwilling to do that whatsoever, and you all consider each other brothers or friends, I think that's a lot of really taking time out to really think about, where you all really stand. Because I think family, I think friends are supposed to really take time out. Do that.
And we've talked about this, I think last week and the week before that, at the end of the day, not everybody is equipped to handle your stuff. And so it doesn't diminish who they are as a friend. What it does is just reveals to you how much they can handle. And so still love them, still dap them up, still hang out. But you have to recognize who you can trust with certain levels of your issues.
And like you said, we have to understand that level of trust. I always say trust is not black and white. There's different levels of trust. You just got to understand with who you're dealing with and who you're facing, what level of trust you're going to have in them. And that's going to really essentially help guide you and understand how much you want to express to them and how much you really want to share to them and so forth. Man, this is, I'm
brother, once again,
I'm really loving these topics, man. I'm really loving these topics. You got anything else you wanted to share with the people, man?
No, as far as this week, I just want to say thank you all for joining us once again. These past 3 weeks have been very, very powerful. I think maybe the next time we link up, we can probably share some of the testimonies that we've been getting, both, in our inboxes and people who have caught some of these videos. But the truth of the matter is that, hey, men, we deal with a lot of issues, and it's okay to acknowledge that we're not always equipped ourselves to handle our stuff. We know how to be strong, we know how to be one model, but I think for the last couple of weeks we've really been talking about the need to be balanced, and so I hope that these discussions will help kind of ignite and kind of catapult people to start having those discussions amongst their own circles, And so, hey, look, I'm enjoying it, and once again, thank you all for participating with us.
Most definitely. And I really appreciate all the inboxes that I've been receiving, all the messages I've been receiving. It's really eye-opening. It really feels good, and it's that confirmation that we're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
But we just really want people to really learn how to really express themselves, how to, verbalize their feelings, their emotions. I think it's very, very important. I think it's a big gap that's really holding us back in several areas of our lives.
Yeah.
And I know if that's something that we can really enhance and improve on, it's gonna really take a turn in many areas of our lives. So I really hope that we're encouraging more brothers to really express themselves, talk about and have those hard conversations, those hard discussions. And I hope more people are having these discussions as well. If you think this is a good, conversation to have within your circle, man, by all means have it. If you want to go live about it, by all means do it. But at the end of the day, we just really want to influence people to understand that there's nothing wrong with this. It is an area that we just need to improve in, but there's nothing wrong with really expressing to yourself and really expressing to other brothers about this.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate everyone tuning in. We really want, what's up, Wanda? We really want people to continue to share, continue to invite people to the videos. There's the other videos, check those out on both of our timelines so you can keep up what we have going on. And we're gonna announce the next topic very soon, which is gonna be another good topic. But man, we're gonna keep this going. Dex is the mastermind with all these topics right here, man. We just working together to make this thing bigger. So once again, we really appreciate everyone for tuning in. My name is Dominique. I'm the founder of Ace Ambition, which is teaching young people how to create their own opportunities, how to monetize their ideas. And I'm also a personal development strategist, helping people clarify their vision so they can move with a purpose in their purpose.
Dexter Peggins, CEO and founder of Kingdom Solutions Consulting. I want you to follow me on Facebook at Dexter Peggins Jr. And also reserve yourself a free 15-minute consultation. Let's go ahead and win in life together. And you can do that by going to DexterPegginsJr.com, DexterPegginsJr.com.
Do that. Follow his page, Dexter Peggins. Follow my page, Dominique, and we are out.